Here we have some numerical problems on dimensional analysis. So let's begin this. The first problem on the screen, the position of x of a particle depends upon time as x is equal to at plus bt square. Determine the dimensions and units of a and b. What are the physical quantities denoted by them? Okay, so what we have to do, we have an equation which is x is equal to at plus bt square. ये इक्वेशन है हमारे पास x इक्वल टू at plus bt स्क्वायर. ओके, क्या करना है हमें? डिटरमाइन द डायमेंशंस एंड यूनिट्स ऑफ ए एंड बी. ए एंड बी क्या करना है हमें? ए एंड बी की डायमेंशंस फाइंड करना है और इनकी यूनिट्स भी फाइंड करना है और बताना है कि व्हाट आर द फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज डिनोटेड बाय देम, कि ए एंड बी कौन सी फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. ओके, as we have discussed in the law of homogeneity, only those quantities can be added or subtracted which are having the same dimensions. Law of homogeneity के according हम केवल वही quantities को add या subtract कर सकते हैं जिनकी dimensions same हो. Means इसके according the dimension of AT is equal to the dimension of BT square is equal to the dimension of X. Means इन तीनों ही terms की dimensions equal होंगी, तभी इनको ऐड करके ये फाइंड किया गया है. ओके, सो वी कैन राइट इट लाइक डायमेंशन ऑफ x इज इक्वल टू डायमेंशन ऑफ a इनटू डायमेंशन ऑफ t. ओके, क्या किया हम लोगों ने? वी हैव टेकन दिस, द डायमेंशन ऑफ x इज इक्वल टू डायमेंशन ऑफ at, और वी कैन राइट इट लाइक डायमेंशन ऑफ x इज इक्वल टू डायमेंशन ऑफ a इनटू डायमेंशन ऑफ it, आई मीन इनटू डायमेंशन ऑफ t. हम लोगों ने ये कंसीडर किया, डायमेंशन ऑफ x is equal to dimension of a into dimension of t. ओके, क्या फाइंड करना है हमें? हमें डिटरमाइन करना है द डायमेंशंस ऑफ a एंड b. ओके, a की डायमेंशन फाइंड करने के लिए क्या करेंगे? वॉच हियर, द डायमेंशन ऑफ a is equal to the dimension of x upon the dimension of t. राइट, इस डायमेंशन a को हमने यहीं पर होल्ड किया और इस डायमेंशन ऑफ t को यहाँ पर अपॉन में भेज दिया. ओके, नाउ पुट द वैल्यूज ऑफ डायमेंशन of x which is L. X is position or length. The dimension of t is time, so this would be capital T. So the dimension of A is LT minus 1. The dimension of A is LT minus 1. Okay, now let's find out the dimension of B. Watch here. Again in the same equation, the dimension of X is equal to the dimension of BT square, or the dimension of B into the dimension of T square. We have to find out the dimension of B, so let's take this in the denominator. So this would be the dimension of B is equal to the dimension of X upon the dimension of T square. The dimension of X is length, so this would be L, and the dimension of T, as it is time, so this would be T square. Alright, so we can write it like LT minus 2. The dimension of B is LT minus 2. Alright, dimension of B is LT minus 2. इस तरह से हम लोगों ने डायमेंशन ऑफ ए कैलकुलेट कर लिया, डायमेंशन ऑफ बी कैलकुलेट कर लिया. ओके, और क्या करना है? डायमेंशन एंड यूनिट्स ऑफ ए एंड बी, यूनिट्स भी फाइंड करनी है. कैसे करेंगे? देख, द डायमेंशन ऑफ ए इज LT minus 1. Okay, the L means, watch here, L means length. The unit of length is meter, and T is time. The unit of time is second. So this would be meter second inverse, or meter per second. Okay, so this is the unit unit of A, which is meter per second. Unit of A is meter per second. In the same way, the unit of B, okay, we have the dimension. The dimension of B is LT minus 2. So this would be meter second to the minus 2. So the unit of B is meter per second square. Okay. Now one more thing. What are the physical quantities denoted by them? ये A and B कौन सी physical quantities को represent करते हैं या फिर denote करते हैं? Okay, watch here. Meter per second. Meter per second represents velocity. It represents velocity. And meter per second square, it represents acceleration. Right? So the physical quantities denoted by them are A represent करता है velocity को and B represent कर रहा है acceleration. Moving ahead, we have the next numerical, this. Find out the dimensions of constants A and B in the equation. ये equation given है हमारे पास, इसमें हमें A and B इनकी dimensions find करनी है. Okay, so again, according to the law of homogeneity, only those quantities can be added or subtracted which are having the same dimensions. केवल वो ही क्वांटिटीज को ऐड किया जा सकता है या सब्ट्रैक्ट किया जा सकता है जिनकी डायमेंशन सेम होती हैं. ओके, तो यहाँ पर ये p प्लस ए अपॉन वी स्क्वायर है, मीन्स द डायमेंशन ऑफ p विल बी इक्वल टू द डायमेंशन ऑफ a अपॉन वी स्क्वायर. इसी तरह यहाँ पर द डायमेंशन ऑफ v विल बी इक्वल टू द डायमेंशन ऑफ b. सो इन द फर्स्ट ब्रैकेट we will have this, the dimension of p is equal to the dimension of a upon the dimension of v square. और हमें फाइंड करना है dimension of A. So this would be dimension of A is equal to dimension of P into dimension of V square. P, the dimension of P. P is the pressure and the dimension of the pressure is ml minus 1 T minus 2. V is the volume. The dimension of the volume is L cube with a square. यहाँ पर ये square लगा है तो ये यहाँ पर आ जाएगा. Okay, so this would be, watch here, m as it is. Now watch here, this is the power of L minus 1 and this would be the power of L as 3 to the 6. L raised to the power 6 and L raised to the power minus 1, so the resultant power will be L raised to the power 5 and T here is with the power minus 2. So this is the dimension of A, ml5 T minus 2. The dimension of A is ml5 T minus 2. Now we will find out the dimension of B. Let's see. Again, the dimension of V is equal to the dimension of B. Why these two are equal? Because only those quantities can be added or subtracted which are having the same dimensions. ये यहाँ पर subtract किया गया है, V minus B किया गया है. It means the dimension of V will be equal to the dimension of B. हमें find करना है the dimension of B. So we can write it like the dimension of B is equal to the dimension of V, and this is L cube. So the dimension of B is equal to L3. Moving ahead, we have our next question, this. Velocity is equal to square root of pressure upon x. Find the dimension of x in the equation. इस equation में हमें x की dimension find करनी है. Okay, so we have to find out this, the dimension of x. First of all, just take square of both the sides. Squaring both the sides, we will have velocity square is equal to pressure upon x, or we can write it like v square is equal to p upon x, or we can write it like x is equal to p upon v square. Now watch here. x की टर्म में हम लोगों ने ये फॉर्मूला बना लिया p upon v square. हमें फाइंड करना है the dimension of x, the dimension of x. So the dimension of x will be equal to the dimension of p upon the dimension of v square. So this would be like dimension of x is equal to dimension of p upon dimension of v square. So put the dimensions. P is the pressure. The dimension of pressure is ml minus 1, T minus 2. ml minus 1, T minus 2. And the dimension of V. V here is velocity. So this would be LT minus 1 with a square. So this we can write it like ml minus 1 T minus 2 upon this. This is having L raised to the power 2, T raised to the power minus 2. It would be like L2 T minus 2. Now this T minus 2 is cancelled out by that minus T minus 2, and we have the dimension of x as ml minus 3. Take this L to the power 2 in the numerator and we will have ml minus 3. So the dimension of x is ml minus 3. Moving ahead, we have this. The density of mercury in CGS system is 13.6 gram per centimeter cube. What will be the value of density in MKS system of units? So we have CGS system में हमारे पास मर्करी की डेंसिटी की वैल्यू है 13.6 ग्राम पर सेंटीमीटर क्यूब, और हमें फाइंड करना है कि MKS सिस्टम ऑफ यूनिट्स में ये वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी. Okay, so watch here. In CGS we have this as 13.6 ग्राम पर सेंटीमीटर क्यूब. इसको कन्वर्ट करना है हमें MKS में. सपोज MKS में ये वैल्यू हो जाती है N2 एंड द यूनिट विल बी किलोग्राम पर मीटर क्यूब. हमने अज्यूम किया है कि वैल्यू हो जाती है N2 और यूनिट होगी यहाँ पर किलोग्राम पर मीटर क्यूब. So this would be like N1, and the dimensional formula for density is ml minus 3. ml minus 3. So this is the first system of units, so we'll take m1 l1. All right, this is m1 l1 minus 3 is equal to n2 m2 l2 minus 3. हमें फाइंड करना है यहाँ पर the value of n2 की वैल्यू फाइंड करनी है. So in the terms of l2, this equation will be n2 is equal to n1 m1 upon m2 into l1 upon l2 L1 upon L2 with a power minus 3. Okay, we will put the value of N1 and these units and we will have the value of N2. So let's do this. So putting these values, we will have n2 is equal to, watch here, the value of n1 is 13.6. Now m1 means the unit of mass in first system of units, and that is gram. m2 means the unit of mass in the second system of units, that is kilogram. Watch here. L1 means the unit of length in the first system of unit, that is centimeter. L2 means the unit of length in the second system of unit, that is meter, with a power minus 3. This power. Now 13.6 as it is, gram as it is. Watch here. Kilogram. 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams. So this would be 10 to the power 3 gram. And here centimeter as it is. And 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. 10 to the power 2 centimeter with a power minus 3. So this is cancelled by that, and this cancelled by that, and we have 13.6. Take this to the numerator, this would be 10 to the power minus 3. Take this to the numerator, this would be 10 to the power minus 2 with a power minus 3. So we have the value of n2 as 13.6 into 10 to the minus 3 into, so hold on, we have the value of n2, that is 13.6 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 10 to the power minus 2 with a whole power minus 3. So this would be like 13.6 into 10 to the minus 3 into, watch here, when power over the powers get multiplied. So this would be 10 to the power 6. Now we will solve this and we will have 13.6 into 10 to the power 3. So this is the value of the density in the second system of unit, that is in MK system of units. Watch here, CJ सिस्टम में ये था 13.6 ग्राम पर सेंटीमीटर क्यूब. अब MK सिस्टम ऑफ यूनिट में हम लोगों ने वैल्यू तो फाइंड कर ली है, लेकिन यूनिट है kg per meter cube. So this would be, we can write it like 13.6 gram per centimeter cube is equal to 13.6 into 10 cube kg per meter cube. Moving ahead, we have this. Check the consistency of the equation A, y is equal to a sin 2 pi t upon t, and B, y is equal to a sin vt. यहाँ पर हमें इन इक्वेशंस की कंसिस्टेंसी चेक करनी है. So let's check it. We have y is equal to a sin 2 pi t upon t. A part है इसका, y is equal to a sin 2 pi t upon t. Okay, watch here. We will check it out. The dimension of y must be equal to the dimension of a. So watch here. Dimension of y is equal to the dimension of a. Here y is the displacement and a is the amplitude, and both are having the same dimension, that is L. So this is verified. Now come to here. Sine के साथ हमेशा एक एंगल होता है. It means this 2 pi t upon t, ये एंगल की डायमेंशन के इक्वल होना चाहिए. I mean एंगल इज डायमेंशनलेस. एंगल की डायमेंशन होती है m0 l0 t0. तो ये 2 pi t upon t, इसकी भी डायमेंशन, I mean ये डायमेंशन लेस आना चाहिए, तभी हम कहेंगे कि ये इक्वेशन कंसिस्टेंट है. So let's check it. dimension of angle, or we can write it like theta. Dimension of angle is equal to dimension of 2 pi t upon t. 2 pi is the constant, no dimension. T is the time, the dimension is capital T, and this t is time period, the dimension is t. This is cancelled by that one, and we have the dimension m0, l0, t0. So the dimension of angle comes m0, l0, t0. It means it is verified. The dimension of displacement is equal to the dimension of amplitude, which is L. So this is correct. And dimension of angle comes m0, l0, t0, that is dimensionless. So this is also verified. So we will say that the equation is consistent. The equation is consistent. The equation is consistent. Moving ahead, we have the second part, that is y is equal to a sin vt. इसमें भी हमें चेक करना है कि ये क्वेश्चन कंसिस्टेंट है या नहीं है. सबसे पहले चेक करेंगे the dimension of y, is it equal to the dimension of a? Of course it is equal. The dimension of y, that is displacement, is equal to the dimension of amplitude, that is L. Both are lengths, so the dimension is L. This is verified. Now check the dimension of angle, that is the angle, the dimension of theta. The dimension of angle is equal to the dimension of Vt. Put the dimensions. V is velocity, the dimension is Lt minus 1. T is time, the dimension is T. And solving this, we will have the dimension is L, which is not dimensionless. It means यहाँ पर angle की dimension आ रही है L, which is not correct. The dimension, the angle must be equal to m0, l0, t0. Dimension of angle must be m0, l0, t0. But here we have the dimension of angle as L. So this equation is inconsistent. The equation is inconsistent. Equation is inconsistent. Moving ahead, we have our next question, which is this. If the time period of a simple pendulum depends upon the following factors: mass of the bob, length of the pendulum, gravitational acceleration, drive an expression for the time period of the pendulum. एक सिंपल पेंडुलम का टाइम पीरियड फॉलोइंग फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करता है, जो कि है मास ऑफ द बॉब, लेंथ ऑफ द पेंडुलम एंड ग्रेविटेशनल एक्सेलरेशन. और हमें फाइंड करना है, ड्राइव करना है एक एक्सप्रेशन पेंडुलम के टाइम पीरियड के लिए. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द क्वेश्चन, द टाइम पीरियड is depending upon the mass of the bob, the length of the pendulum, and gravitational acceleration g. Take the powers a, b, and c. Remove the sign of proportionality, take the constant k, and here ma, lb, gc. Take this equation 1. Now put the dimensions. This is t, means time period. The dimension will be m0, l0, t. The dimension k. K is the constant, no dimension. M is the mass, the dimension is m with a power a. L is the length, the dimension is L with a power b. G is gravitational acceleration. The dimension is Lt minus 2 with the power c. Now this is m0 L0 T1 is equal to, and here is m raised to the power a, L raised to the power here b, and here c. So this would be L raised to the power b plus c, and t raised to the power, watch here, power over the powers get multiplied. This would be t raised to the power minus 2c. अब हम powers को compare करेंगे और find करेंगे the values of a, b and c. Watch here. Comparing the powers, we will have the power of m here is 0, the power of m here is a. So this would be a is equal to 0. Now watch here. The power of t here is 1. The power of t here is minus 2c. So we can write it minus 2c is equal to 1, or c is equal to minus half. Now watch. The power of L here is 0 and the power of L here is b plus c. So we can write it like b plus c is equal to 0. Or we can write it like b is equal to minus c. Or b is equal to the value of c is minus half. So this would be plus half. Now we have the values of a, b and c. Put these values of a, b and c in equation 1. a, b और c की ये values हम लोग equation 1 में put करेंगे. Then we will have this. T is equal to k m raised to the power a, that is 0, L raised to the power b, that is half, g raised to the power c, that is minus half, or we can write it like t is equal to k under root L upon g. डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस का ये एक्सेप्शन है, लिमिटेशन है कि ये k की वैल्यू प्रोवाइड नहीं करता है, एंड हियर k is 2 pi. So put the value of k as 2 pi, जो कि हम लोगों ने डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस से फाइंड नहीं की है. Alright, so we will have t is equal to 2 pi under root L upon g. This is the expression for the time period of a pendulum. That's all for now. See you again. Thank you.